And I lost very quickly 140 pounds in about a year. And then I gained back about 80. And then I lost another 80. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You think my body's a little worn out from all that? Desperately chasing this thing called health. Thinness does not equal health. Fatness does not equal unhealth. Poor nutrition and a sedentary lifestyle do cause health problems in people of all sizes. I'll read that again. Poor nutrition and sedentary lifestyle do cause health problems in people of all sizes. This is why it's so important to separate the idea of fatness from eating crap and not exercising. They don't go together. I don't eat crap. I know I have my devil dog. I get my food from an Amish farm. It's illegal. Amish mafia, they give you raw milk. Leave it in the driveway. I eat really healthy. But people are still going to judge me and look at me and make assumptions. They don't know. And I catch myself doing it too. This is how I check. This is how I know other people are doing it, because I do it. You look at a certain person, you look at their shape, you look at their physique, and you judge, oh, they must be healthy. Well, why? Because they're slender, they have the muscular arm thing going on. You know, they must be healthy. I can't say it enough. You cannot judge somebody's health by looking at them. No one has proven that fat people generally eat more or exercise less than thin people. Period. No one has proven that fat people generally eat more or exercise less than thin people. Period. You ever see those thin people who eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and they never gain weight? That's because they eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. If you are giving your body a lot of fuel, it's going to burn like a hot furnace. And so they just cycle through, and their energy is up, and their energy must be very good if they're eating and eating and eating and eating like that. It keeps a hot metabolism. You go on a diet, you start restricting, taking away macronutrients being fat, protein, carbs. You start taking those things away, your metabolism cools, it gets cold. It gets cold. Picture a furnace with nothing burning in it except like a couple of twigs. Cold. You've got to put fuel in it to keep that fire going. And the best way to do that is this guy got me out of a wheelchair. Okay? That wall I hit, that plateau they call it when you stop losing weight, he got me over it with salt, sugar, fat, and starch. Salt, sugar, fat, and starch. Got my engine hot again. Got my life back. Got my energy back. Diets don't work. Even if you call them lifestyle changes, diets don't work. Why? Because you are eliminating the very things your body needs to be warm and to take its shape. Your body doesn't want to be overweight and it doesn't want to be underweight. It doesn't want to be And by overweight, I don't mean overweight by some BMI standard. I mean overweight for you. Some people do better with some meat on them. Some people don't. But it's going to have a different set point. That's health that makes them feel good. Your body will find that if you feed it. You feed it a balanced diet. A variety of foods. And stop with the artificial sweeteners. Oh, please stop. I don't care if it's the yellow packet, the blue packet, the pink packet, the rainbow packet. Stop. Sugar makes you warm. Put sugar in your coffee and tea. Sugar, real sugar, or honey, or molasses. Chocolate. Of course, chocolate. Sweet things keep you warm. And stop, for heaven's sake, drinking so much water. Drink water, it makes you feel full. Well, food makes me feel full. You have to drink your 8 glasses of water a day. You know when to drink water? When you're thirsty. Your body will tell you. Your body will tell you when it needs water. You will have thirst. And even then, it doesn't have to be water. I don't know. What do you like to drink? What's fun to drink? Things that are fun to put in your mouth make you happy. And being happy makes you live longer, makes you healthy. Put things that make you happy. Juice. Especially pineapple juice, orange juice, grapefruit juices are very heat-producing foods. They might be a little too acidic. You can water them down. There's a whole chapter in here about don't drink too much water. It makes you cold. Cold hands and feet. When I was doing my rehab diet, it was because of this guy, Matt Stone, and my nutritionist, Josh Rubin. They measured your temperature and your heart rate. That's how he got me back up on my feet. And I literally was in a wheelchair. I was in a wheelchair. Before you even start moving in the morning, stick a thermometer in your mouth. Before you even roll over, have it right next to your pillow. Stick a thermometer in your mouth. What's your temperature? Because if it's less than 98.6, you have a metabolic issue. You're cold. Usually it's going to be some sort of stress that's making you cold or repeated dieting. You want to be warm. Fat, starch, salt, sugar make you warm. Given that diets don't work in the long term for the vast majority of people, even if obesity in and of itself were a health crisis, how should we solve it? Maybe obesity isn't the crisis. Wow, more and more children are obese. Okay, well, let's get the kids moving more. We tend to have video games nowadays. Back in my day, we ran outside, we ran around, we did a lot more running around. So it could be a video game thing, could be an indoor thing, could be a phone thing, could be a lack of movement thing that's contributing to that. But guess what? Even the skinny kids, even the thin kids need to run around and get some fresh air and move. Stop singling out the kids, overweight, fat, whatever it is we're calling them these days. You're stigmatizing them. You're making them feel bad. And guess what? Shame never works to change anything. Shame doesn't make people healthy. Shame makes people want to hide. This is why I tell my story. As many ways as I can, many places as I can, I tell my story. Because I have people who come up after I tell my story to say, yeah, me too. I thought it was just me. We have to tell our stories. This is my book, my first book. You can get it on Kindle cheap, $2.99. But if you want an autograph, you have to get the paper copy. And then you find me on campus, I'll sign it. And that's just 1 year. I'll wait till you see the other 7 books that are coming out. I blogged every day for about 9 years. Blogged every day for 9 years because I wanted to keep track of this. And somebody said, well, don't give it away for free, sell books. Pay off your student loans. I'm like, ooh, pay off my student loans. You okay? So I took the blogs offline and I'm turning them into books one by one. The next one will be from wheelchair to warrior. Because weighing 260 pounds, I got on the mats and I earned myself a yellow belt in Tong Sudo. And then I was like, all right, I proved enough. I don't like doing this. I like exercising from here up. Most fat people have already dieted repeatedly, and sadly, it's likely that the dieting will cause them more health problems than the fat. But I have a friend, I'm just so worried about her health. Okay, so what you're telling me is you think telling your friend that she's overweight is going to be helpful? I say she because it tends to be in that community. I mean, guys do it too, but. I just want to talk to her. Why? You think she doesn't know? Every time she walks down the street, or in front of people, or in front of a mirror, you think she doesn't know? That she's different in a way that people want to single out and attack, and you want to stuff your face with junk 24/7. I had a student once slipped a diet in with his final exam. I'm not sure which one he was. I mean, I think I know who he was. He meant well. He meant well. Human beings deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. And guess what? Fat people are human beings. Human beings deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. And guess what? Fat people are human beings. Anybody who says, and the title of the talk was, but you have such a pretty face. I heard that all my life. Such a pretty face. Don't you want to be thin too? Yes, I do, so that you'll leave me alone. I only want to be thin so you'll leave me alone and the cute boys will want to go out with me. And guess what? Turns out the cute boys want to go out with me anyway, even though I'm fat. Look up Museum of Fat Love. It's people of size, and sometimes there's, two fat people together, but the point of it was that she wanted to show that men of, straight size or mainstream, size can fall in love with a fat girl. Did you know that? Now, it's strange because if I'm out in public with one of my cute boyfriends, actually I don't have a boyfriend, but I have cute guy friends. But nobody knows what our status is. You don't know who these people are. I mean, I have people of all shapes and sizes and ages, but if I'm out with one of the cute young guys, it's an interesting set of reactions that people will give. I've had girls actually come up and put themselves physically between me and the guy. And you don't know if that's going to be your friend or not. You don't know what our situation is. What are you doing? Flirt with them right in front of me, as if to assume, well, that can't possibly be her love interest. Why? Well, if you're going to be a MILF, I've always wanted to be a MILF. You have to look a certain way. You have to look like, I don't know, there's a show, Cougar Town or something. I don't watch it, but Cougar Town. And who is it? Courtney Cox. There's a bunch of, straight-sized women. But that's how you have to look if you're going to have a cute young guy. And if not, well, then he must just be one of those, he must be gay. That's what he is, he's gay. Typical gay guy with a fat chick. That's what ego does. Ego wants to put things into categories, right? But it is so okay to be unkind to people of size that they feel that they can do these things. Flirt with the guy I'm with. Fun. Well, it's because when we're being portrayed in movies and TV shows, and by we I mean, fat people, we're the comic relief, right? So we're the funny fatty. We're the dumb one. okay? And a lot of times it's the guys who play the part of the dumb fatty. Or we're the bad guy or bad girl, the evil one. Ursula. Break the internet, Ursula. Did you see that? And the picture of Kim Kardashian and her abnormally round, large derriere? Abnormally. See, I use that stigmatizing term on poor Kim. But, she just rather, you could put a drink on the butt. It's a big butt. And then in response, somebody took Ursula from The Little Mermaid. And they had her in the same pose. Break the internet, Ursula. I'm like, yeah, do it. Break that internet. But if that's the only time we see fat people, right? And what's the other time we see fat people? Before pictures. And the before picture. I'm miserable. And then the after picture. Well, wouldn't it be funny? Let's break the internet this way. Let's have the fat people be like this in the beginning. They're like, wait. And see, that's what gets to people. That's what gets to people. If you come out as a person who loves their body, no matter what size and shape it is, and you act like you're the after picture, people don't know what to do with that. People don't know how to react, just like they don't know how to react when I'm with one of my cute boys. It doesn't fit in with the way they want to see reality. They want to try to fit it back to something that's more under control. And I tell my students over and over and over and over again, people who have power and privilege don't want to acknowledge their power and privilege, and they don't want to share it. They don't want to acknowledge their power and privilege, and they don't want to share it. So if you are taking a resource that they believe they're more entitled to voice, attention, happiness, confidence, they're going to try to smack you back into place. It doesn't make sense that somebody who's this should be confident, happy, in love with somebody cute. What's the expression we use? Out of their league. With somebody out of your league. That's a terrible thing we do to each other with that phrase. Oh, she's out of your league. He's out of your league. What does that mean? People of certain ages and looks have to go together in a certain way. It's nonsense. Defy that nonsense. Shaming people for the sake of their own health, doesn't help them. You can't shame anybody into better habits. You can't shame anybody into having self-worth or self-esteem. You cannot shame anybody into taking better care of themselves. You could shame people into fear. You could shame people into believing they're not lovable. My father did it to me. He meant well, working class Italian man, simple man, not a guy who read a lot, not a guy who really meant to hurt me. But when I got my first master's and it was time for me to start teaching university here, he says, aren't you ashamed to get up in front of the room looking like that? He crushed me. Because I wasn't. I wasn't ashamed. I was stupid enough to have confidence and think I deserved to be up in front of the room and listened to because of my expertise and my passion for learning and my love for students. I thought that I was just fine. But he put this in my head. Aren't you ashamed? Well, now I am. Well, not now, but, after he said. I remember eating an apple in front of him one day. It's stories in the book. I didn't live at home, but I came to visit, and he had bought apples, and I love apples. I love Honeycrisp apples. I could eat 3 in a day. And I was eating an apple in front of him, and after I left, he said to my mother, I can't believe, is she really supposed to be eating that way? I mean, the way she was taking big bites out of that apple and sucking the juice out of it, I mean, oh, for God's sake, I can't even eat an apple in peace? I confronted him on it, and he's like, "Oh, your mother, she's just trying to cause trouble." I'm like, "I know, she was, Dad. She's evil, I know." But geez, I didn't realize eating an apple in front of you was something that I thought I shouldn't do. Well, I thought you had all those weight loss surgeries. So that meant I shouldn't be able to eat and enjoy food in front of him. If you're a person of larger size, if you're a fat person, you should be ashamed to eat. I've had people come up to me. I do a lot of things alone because I'm very busy, and sometimes I'll be sitting at a restaurant alone. And when I was at my heaviest, I would have people come and do things to me, like make comments on what I was eating, or talk about diets, or all these terribly unwelcome comments, as if they were allowed to do it. If shame worked, we'd all be, these super healthy, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Healthy what? Athletes? What? Because athleticism is what makes a person healthy? What makes a person healthy? I think we have to have the freedom to define that for ourselves. So let me close, but I also want to stick around for questions. There is a group that you can look up online, the Association for Size, Diversity, and Health, but look up HAES, 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 Health at Every Size. It is a movement started by Dr. Linda Bacon, who was noticing people being mistreated medically due to their size. And so she started the Health at Every Size movement in order to educate healthcare providers and educate patients that you deserve to be treated with full human dignity no matter what your size is, and you deserve to be treated for whatever ailment you're showing up for, rather than having your weight be the first thing people talk about. It has a lot to say. And it also introduces the idea that you define your health, you define your best health. How do you feel good? How do you feel good? Do you feel good going up a flight of stairs? Is that the way you define health? I'll just avoid stairs. If that's the case, I'm like, I don't need to go upstairs. Or maybe that's the thing you want to be able to. You want to be able to upstairs. I want to be able to, bend over and sit on the floor and play with my kids. Okay, well, that's the thing. I see plenty of fat people do that, by the way. You don't have to be thin to do that. Fat people can get on the floor and get up and down and play with their kids. How do you define health? You are free to make those definitions for yourself, and not be bothered by people with well-meaning comments such as, "Oh, well, you have such a pretty face." You're like, "Yeah, I know." "Well, wouldn't things be easier if you were thinner?" "Yeah, because people like you wouldn't be making me feel bad about it." You are free to define your own health for your own sake. This is a description. It's not an insult. It's just a description. It could be a noun. It could be an adjective. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. You can decide what you want to be called. Person of size, fat. What's the comedian? I love him. Iglesias. Fluffy. You want to be fluffy? Be fluffy. So fluffy I could die. Thank you so much for listening. Get my book. And do you have any questions? Questions about my story, questions about health, questions about nutrition, questions about what to say to people when they bother you, questions about anything. Meaning of life. Story you might want to tell. Anything you want to say. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to share. Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Talk. This is fantastic. But the Ursula Breaking the Internet thing, there was a poem called Dear Ursula on Button Poetry, and I feel like you need to look it up, and I feel like the second you said that, reverberated with me, because it's all about how, this young girl saw Ursula and was like, "This is amazing, she's the same size as me," and then she was the villain and how she dealt with it, so I think that, you'd enjoy that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, thanks for that. I'm going to look that up. Yeah, it's in Disney World, they have, at the Art of Animation Hotel, they have an Ursula, and she's 4 stories tall. I took a picture next to her butt. This is awesome. Thank you. Any other ideas, questions? Yes, sir.
I just thought the part of your talk where you brought up what is the definition of health? It got me thinking, I personally think that it's finding the right balance between not only physical health, but more importantly, mental health. Because, as I listened throughout your talk, it's about having the proper mindset that if you want to lose weight, you can. Even if it's through various methods like exercise, maybe in some more extreme cases, surgeries. Because then if you believe that you can do it, you're eventually going to physically be able to do it. So it just got me thinking about that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you physically believe you can do something, no, wait. If you mentally believe you can do something, you can make it happen physically. If what you want to be is smaller because it's going to feel better, or you want to see, it's just like, God, please let me hit the lottery so I can prove to you that being rich won't ruin me. Let me hit the Powerball and I'll show you that money doesn't matter to me. I promise, God. So, maybe you want to see what it's like to be in a smaller body. Say, you know what? I want to try this out. I want to feel what thin privilege feels like, or I just want to see what it feels like to be lighter. What does it feel like? I want to see what this feels like. And then you do whatever it is you believe is going to make you that way. And that's the key, P.S. It's what you believe. It could be following Matt Stone's diet recovery too, or it could be whatever Oprah's pushing these days. What is she doing now? Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers? I don't know what she's doing, whatever. Whatever you think you need to do to be whatever you think you need to be, go do that and try it on. Try it on. Whatever you think is healthy, and go pursue that with no apology. But just be aware that other people have that same right to define health for themselves too. This is the Mirror Project. This has been going on a very long time. Maybe, I don't know if it's the 10th year for this project. I don't know, but it's a beautiful project. People of different ages, starting with the middle school, which is breaking my heart a little bit, were asked to write down, P.S. I swiped this off a table. I hope I can remember where I took it from. What they see when they look in the mirror. And I was trying to find one because I would love to tell you that I'm all healed up. I would love to tell you that when I look in the mirror, I see beautiful, at peace, potential, talent. No, this is what I see. And I'm struggling to love this. And that's the truth. So, thank you for listening. Let's see if I can get this up on YouTube before the end.